Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Insecure Season 5, Episode 3. Boring episode. I'm gonna need more spunk than this, you guys. A whole episode of Lawrence? I mean, I guess. But anyway, the review. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode actually picks up when Issa broke up with Lawrence. Remember when he dropped her off when she got back home from her her college reunion. So she walks on in the house. Lawrence goes on home, and when he walks in the door, he sees all of his apartment packed up. He is moving to San Francisco. Remember, he got that job. So off he goes. Next time we see Lawrence, he is in San Francisco. Lawrence is looking good. Work is good. Okay, they value his, his presence at his job. He seems to be part of the team there. Pretty much for Lawrence, life is good. All right, we see that he's dating. Dating might not be all that. I just keep on saying I can't imagine dating in this time. Dating apps and actually meeting somebody just through a swipe on a phone or something is so weird to me. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not good and it's not successful, because I know people that have met online that have very healthy, have relationships that have lasted for a long time, marriages and everything. But what I'm saying is, I just can't imagine, because, ain't nothing like meeting a fine ass man in the club while you waiting in line to go to the bathroom. Your song come on and you got to dance right there, and a guy walk by and just come dance up next to you. You give him your number and shit. Like, those kind of things are seem to be more organic to me. So yeah, I'm not knocking the whole online dating experience. It just seems like it's a child. I am aged out of that. For real. So he's on this date with the girl, and you can tell they're not really connecting, and she's kind of looking around, sort of like, what time is it, when this is going to be over? Lawrence tries to make funny talk or small talk, and it turns out to be kind of stupid. She's just like, why wouldn't you want to ride the trolley? Okay, he's like, I could go rolling down the hill or something. She was just like, yes, yeah, you stupid. That's not gonna happen. But anyway, while he's there, he gets a text message, and it seems that Condola has had the baby. And he seems shocked. So I was just like, well, why are you shocked? You knew she was pregnant. But it turns out that she ended up having this baby prematurely. So now he's got to go. So he pays the food and he jumps up, and first thing smoking, back to Los Angeles. So when he gets to the hospital, we see that Kiki Shepard and Leela Rashawn is her mother and her sister. They are there at the hospital with Condola as she holds the little baby. And when Lawrence walks in, well, of course, he's public enemy number one. He ain't been around. He didn't want this baby. You know how it is. Your family is protective of you. So we get that. But, so how do we even do this? Can I see my baby kind of thing? When he walks in, he finds out that they've already named the baby. Okay, Elijah Mustafa. He didn't even have any say in the name making. And they named him after the grandfather. So yeah, he got to get with it immediately. At least right now is not the time to be bringing it up. Okay. But anyway, would you like to hold your child? Yes. And when he holds the baby, there's an instant connection. You can tell that Lawrence at least is happy that this baby that he created, even though it's with a woman that he don't want to be with, makes him happy. So I said, okay, well, that's good, I guess. But how are we going to do this? And you in San Francisco and this girl is in Los Angeles. So while he's in Los Angeles, you go over his boy Chad's house, and he's complaining to Chad like they done already fucking named the baby, and they trying to make it seem like it was a big deal that they gave the baby Lawrence's last name. That is his damn baby. But Lawrence is complaining that this whole thing is weird, which it really is weird when you have a baby with somebody that you're not with. You have no intentions of being with. You live in a whole different city. Okay, and not just the next city. You live 6-7 hours away from Los Angeles. And you're trying to, the whole thing is going to be weird. He was like, it's a blessing, but it's, still not right. This is not how he imagined his first baby, the birth of a first baby would be. They already treat them like a deadbeat. Well, again, the families only have the one side. It's actually, this episode was really good to see really both sides, that the results of somebody who makes the choice to have a baby when the father has clearly said he does not want to have a baby. He does not want to be with you. Okay. And a lot of times women will continue and move forward with that birth, but then they will have all of these issues with the father. And when he already made it clear he didn't want to have this baby. So we can kind of see how that looks in this episode from both sides. So yeah, her family is protective of her, obviously, and Lawrence is not liking that from his perspective. But you know what? They can act the way they wanted to. Lawrence says that he's not going to be pushed out of his baby's his baby's life. So the first appointment, he's going to be there. So now we see Lawrence coming back and forth to Los Angeles to participate in the raising of this child, but you can't do that from far away. He's there at the first appointment. Remember I told you the baby was born early, so I'm sure that Condola is probably way more nervous and just worried about her child because he had a rough entrance into the world. So the doctor tells him the baby lost weight, and she's like, is that okay? And Lawrence is like, is that all right? Like, what do we need to do? And all of this. And the doctor is telling him, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's very normal. Your baby is healthy and happy as long as you guys are raising him that way. He could be one of these ugly, horrible babies that come through. We get a lot of those, just like, not the doctor talking about the ugly babies, but, he was just like, no, your baby is fine. But again, that right there will tell you that there's things that's going on that Lawrence doesn't know. He doesn't understand why the baby might have lost weight. Even Condola doesn't know. But when you're in a unit together and you guys are both raising the child from inside the house, you kind of know each other's habits, and the habits of the baby a little bit more. And maybe that would put you at ease a little bit when you're with a doctor. It's just bad. So when they get out of there, they can't agree on much. They can't agree on appointment times. Of course, we got to take into consideration that Lawrence has to get to Los Angeles from San Francisco, and he's really trying, but Condola don't feel sorry for him because he told her when he was when she was pregnant to keep him posted. I'm sure that hurt her feelings. You're not really trying to be involved, but again, he already told you how he felt. So the baptism, his family wants to be involved. They want to know when the baptism is going to happen, so it's just, again, two different lives trying to converge to raise this one child. Okay. But Lawrence tells her that he's going to be home every weekend, or he's going to be in LA every weekend so that he can, participate in raising the baby. Is that okay with her? And she says, you know what, we're going to play it by ear. That sounds okay, I guess. Lawrence is back in San Francisco. We see him putting together a baby crib. I was like, now wouldn't child, if you can't even get her to halfway act right with you when you in Los Angeles, what make you think that you're going to be able to bring this baby out to San Francisco at any moment? Okay. That is so far down the line that baby probably won't even be in the crib by the time you can get him to San Francisco, if that's what your plans was going to be. But you know what? He's sitting there. He got stars in his eyes. He putting together the baby crib, child, whatever. Okay, maybe that just the presence of the crib maybe might make him feel more comfortable knowing that he has a baby, 6, 7, 8 hours away, that is his. Now, as far as his baptismal, they get the baby baptized. Okay. But even that is weird. We've got Lawrence's family there. We've got her family there. The families don't know each other. Lawrence's family feels like the baby didn't get dunked in the water. Okay. That's how they do it. So you know what? They're going to try to set up a proper baptismal because we don't know what the fuck all this was that we just did today. Lawrence wants to possibly talk to Condola, whatever the fuck her name is, about having the baby more. Possibly he could have the baby for a week. Because his family wants to see the baby as well. Maybe around Thanksgiving, they can work that out. And she was just sort of like, you would think that the man asked him, could they all jump off of the damn cliff without a parachute or something? She was looking at him like, oh no, a week? Okay, her sister was like, that's like a year. And he was like, no, that's really like a week. And so it's clear that Lawrence wants to be, and you do feel bad for him because there's a lot of men out there, frankly, who don't want to be bothered. When they said they didn't want to be bothered, they don't want to be bothered, and they don't get bothered, you know. So then you see this girl who is not willing to let the father who wants to be a part of this child's life, you know, be a part of this child's life, because one, you're so protective, two, you're real hurt about you guys' relationship. I don't know if Condola wants Lawrence back or not. You know, you working your ass to the bone, you tired all the time. Why wouldn't you let this man, who obviously he is not going to hurt your child? Why? I never understand why women won't let men who really wanted to, you know, who really want to be there, who really want to help, why won't you let them, you know, have that part in their child's life? I never ever understand it. It always makes me feel like there's more. Well, I mean, it's so deep. It's a lot of things that happen. So I can't even say there's one reason why women are that way. But it makes you sometimes wonder if it's because they're bitter about the fact that they aren't together anymore. Moving on along. So work is busy for Lawrence. Okay, he's back in San Francisco and he is you know, bogged down with work. That new account that he just signed on for is taking a lot of his time. Okay, he's supposed to be in Los Angeles in the weekend. He's not gonna make it, so he sends her a text message, you know, he's not gonna make it this weekend. Work has been really busy, and of course her family is just, her sister Kiki is just like, yeah, it figures. Okay, but Kiki is there. I don't even know, what was her name? Kyra, I think that was her name. She's gonna help Condola, you know, watching the baby and everything, but this is just one more reason why the family doesn't seem to like Lawrence. Later on we see Lawrence again putting together the crib. It's coming along nicely, and he gets a text message from Condola, and she says, Simone's birthday party, her first birthday is this weekend, you know, should we go together? And he was just like, you mean with Ja? I guess they call Elijah Ja. And she says, yeah. So all three of them going together, and he says, yeah, he's down. And I was like, ooh, strange, because what is people supposed to think about this relationship? Okay. But, so yeah, they go to Simone's birthday party, and Simone is Tiffany and Derek's little girl. It's her first birthday. When he gets there, of course, he's greeted by Kelly, and Kelly can make, you know how Kelly is anyway. It's awkward, it's weird. Like I said, you know, you guys are there in this capacity. You got the baby strapped on you and everything. When Condola walks off with Tiffany, then Lawrence asks Kelly, how is she doing? And she says she's good. And how's everybody else doing? He doesn't specifically say Issa, although we know that's what he wants to say. And Kelly says all of her friends are great, okay, thriving, doing very well. Issa wasn't there for some reason. I was just like, did she know that Lawrence and Condola would be there? You know, it's always strange when everybody is friends, you know, but people try to stay friends when relationships break up, and then they meet somebody else, and then they be bringing them around the group, and it's like always hard to maneuver these kind of things. So I was actually surprised that Lawrence agreed to go to this party with Condola, knowing that, you know, all of these other variables that's going on in you know, in their circle. We get Kelly up there to do the toast for the baby. You know, she gets up there and says that she don't like kids. She thinks that kids are devils, little demons, okay? And she ain't never liked kids, but that's not her goddaughter. Her goddaughter is an angel, okay? An angel among demons. And she toasts to the little girl, you know, cracking up. The child, she got her damn cousin as Peppa Pig over there. He high, and Kelly gotta keep track of him. Lawrence is there. Baby, you know, at one point Lawrence comes up to Condola, and he has the baby, and she was like, what's that on his face? And he was like, oh, I gave him a little mushy something off of the kid's table. And she was like, what why would you give him that? You know, we haven't given him introduced to him solid foods. And he was like, yeah, but the doctor said after 4 months it was fine. She was like, but still, we haven't done that. And you know, so they get into a quick conversation / argument over the fact that, well, these are kind of things that happen when people are living in two different homes and everybody ain't on the same fucking page. And Lawrence doesn't think it's that big of a deal. You know, she was just like, what if he had an allergy? Well, he doesn't have an allergy. He's fine. Okay. But what if he did? And that's Condola's issue. So she's just sort of like, give me the baby. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you the baby. Why don't you calm down? And she's like, give me the baby. So now they're having a big scene at the at the birthday party. All right, Derek finally comes over there and gets Lawrence and kind of pulls him away. And Derek is just trying to get Lawrence to understand it's a whole lot that you got to figure in these baby situations. It's not just you, it's you and the mom. And, you know, he talks to Lawrence off the ledge, but Lawrence is frustrated, which is very understandable. And I understand Condola's side as well. But she's unwilling to let him in. And he feels like she is trying to make him look like a deadbeat dad. Okay. What do you guys think? Do you think that's what Condola's doing? So now, you guys, Lawrence takes it on home, and life goes on for both Condola and Lawrence, but in very different ways. Okay, Lawrence is an absent dad. Okay, he is in San Francisco living his life. He's still working. He's still dating. He's still fucking. Okay, and Condola is not. She is a single mom at the house. All right, tired, exhausted, not knowing what she's doing all the time, like all of the things that come with being a first-time mom, and then, you know, having to do that as a single first-time mom as well. So we see the differences in their lives. Okay, but then of course the common denominator is little baby Elijah. Condola needs a break. And I guess she and Lawrence have finally agreed that he would take the baby. So he's coming into town. And he's excited about it. I guess he's got it all set up with his family. You know, he's going to bring the baby around and blop-de-blop-de-blue. So when he gets to the apartment, Condola is trying to console a crying baby. All right. And, you know, he is just like, oh, you know, give me the baby. You know, are you upset your daddy's a little late? It's okay. You know, he was like, I got the car seat. I got everything exactly what we said we were going to have. Don't worry about it. But Condola is just like, I don't think that this is a good idea. She doesn't want him to take the baby. And he was just like, why? You know, we already talked about this. Like, this is not cool, which it is not cool. Okay. And she says that she doesn't trust him. And I was like, what do you not trust? It's not like Lawrence has proven to be unresponsible. I would imagine that he would take care of his children, okay, or his child. But she says that he's never around, so she doesn't really know what he would do with the child. You ran off to San Francisco, and he says, yeah, to a job that I already had before you and this baby situation came along. Like, I told you I didn't want to have a baby. You blew my damn life up. And she was just like, what? You are not a victim in this relationship here. Okay. But Lawrence doesn't see it that way. He clearly did not want the baby, but the baby is here now. So he tells her he's sick of her trying to keep the baby away from him, and that he's going to do whatever he has to do with or without her to make sure that he has his baby. And she was like, what did you say to me? And he was like, with or without you. And she was like, get the fuck out of my house. Okay. So they have like a big argument. And I was just like, this is not going to work. You have to move back to Los Angeles. Okay. But anyway, he gets on the plane. They hit really bad turbulence, which I heard that flight to San Francisco is a lot of turbulence. But anyway, they hit a lot of bad turbulence. And I guess real quickly, Lawrence's mortality, you know, he's staring it in the face, you know, and all he could think about is his baby. There's a baby that's crying on the plane. He can hear a baby crying. And that seems like that's all he's thinking about is like, oh my God, I got to be here for my child. I got to be here for my son. And so he gets back home. And he and Condola finally talk on the phone, and he says that he's sorry, you know, that they had that big blow up. And Lawrence says what I said, which is, this isn't working. So what do we do now? Okay, well, somebody is going to have to get to each other's city. All right, either she going to move to San Francisco, which I don't think her family's going to let her do that. So you know what? Lawrence is probably going to have to move back to Los Angeles. But yeah, you guys, just what did you guys think about the episode? I was just like, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But it was just sort of like, anyway, you guys, what y'all thought? All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I got to get back to work. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Goodbye.